Hello, artists. So we are going to be doing a 1-point perspective drawing. And I just want to remind you that when you are doing yours, to draw very, very lightly, because a lot of these lines, especially at the beginning, will be guidelines to help you line things up. And that means you're going to end up wanting to erase a lot of them. So remember to keep your lines pretty soft, okay? Mine are going to be a little heavier because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing, but please keep yours really soft. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm trying to establish where my vanishing point is going to be. And one way I can do that is I'm going to draw two diagonal lines across my paper from corner to corner. If it doesn't come out exactly to the corner, that is okay. I'm not too worried about that. So I have one going across corner to corner, mostly. And then I'm going to go this direction too. So I'm trying to line up my ruler somewhat and something like that. Across, and then I'll have to slide my ruler a little bit in order to reach the corner. Okay, so 2 lines so far. So far I have an X, okay? The third line I'm going to draw is going to be in the middle. Make sure you do these first, because that's going to help you line up where the vanishing point is. If you don't do those first, sometimes the lines don't line up and you have to start over. So do the diagonal lines first, okay? Take my word for it with that, please. Okay, so then we're going to do one horizontal line, and you want it to go right through the center of that X, okay? That is going to be the horizon line where the sky and the ground meet. So everything up here will be sky. Everything down here is the ground, okay? So the next thing you're going to do is we're going to be drawing some trees on the left side. And what I want to do is begin by drawing in this triangle, okay? I'm going to be drawing trees, and the closer trees are going to be here, and then as they're getting further away, I'm going to be drawing them smaller and smaller and smaller, since as things recede into the distance, they're going to look smaller naturally. Before I do the trees, though, I do want to add one other little thing. This will end up being kind of a detail later, but I need to be ready for it with just 2 lines right now. This is going to end up being a sidewalk a little later, and I just want to establish those lines now, just the basic lines. All I did was I'm drawing from the vanishing point down to the bottom of the paper on each side, okay? Okay, so now I want to draw my trees. And what sometimes happens is that kids start drawing the trees and they're straight up and down at the beginning, and then as they get closer to the vanishing point, they start tilting. I'm not sure why that happens. It's okay if it happens to you, but just be aware of that, because sometimes that will happen. So you're just, however you want to draw your trees, okay, is really kind of up to you. Remember that they're bigger and the trunk is wider here in the front. So I'm just going to make not very realistic kind of trees here. I'm just drawing kind of the trunk and splitting it, and then just sort of drawing the canopy of the tree here, okay? I have to make sure that as I'm going into the distance, each trunk is going to be a little shorter, and it's going to be narrower, right? I can vary them a little bit so they don't all look the same, but okay. And even though they're going beyond my triangle edge here, that's okay. They're still in this general area, okay? They're not on that side of the paper. They're here. So I'm going to keep doing that. I want to add a few more trees. They are kind of behind each other. And a few more. Probably you get the idea by now. But see how they're just getting littler and littler and littler. Those trunks are kind of the same size, but it's okay. Okay, so those are my trees going into the distance. Taller and wider here, narrower and littler, approaching the vanishing point. Okay, so now on the right side of the paper, within this triangle, I'm going to be adding my buildings, okay? And I'm going to show you how to draw them just using 6 basic lines, and then you'll be able to add details to that. So if you remember that every building has to have at least these 6 lines, you won't leave any lines out. So I'm actually going to, let me show you a little example of how it's going to be, something like that. But what we're gonna do is start on this side. I'm kind of deciding how tall I want my building to end up. This is gonna end up being kind of the roof of that building, unless I add something even on top of that. This is my first line, okay? You are not drawing the numbers on your paper. I'm drawing them there so you know the steps to take, okay? The next one comes all the way down to my sidewalk, okay? Don't stop on the horizon line or it's gonna look funny, okay? You don't wanna don't stop on the horizon line. Come through down to the sidewalk, okay? Line 3 is exactly like line 1, but it's the bottom of the building. So line 1 and line 3 are parallel to each other, okay? All right, so that's kind of the side of the building facing you. Now we want the side of the building facing towards the road, okay? And all I have to do here is I'm going to draw a diagonal line starting from this corner, but I want to aim it towards the vanishing point. So I'm going to start from the corner and line up my ruler. And it has to go from the corner, and I'm just kind of deciding how thick do I want this building to be. It's totally up to me. So I'm just gonna stop there, okay? It could be any width, totally up to me. So that is line number 4. Then I need another straight down to the sidewalk, just like this one, but it's gonna look shorter because it's further away. Or I want it to look further away. Okay, that's line number 5. Notice it came through the horizon line. Don't stop on the horizon line with that one either, okay? The last line is the 6th line, and it actually is this section here, and in a way it's already drawn because the sidewalk is there, but I'm just gonna go over it one more time just because I wanna make sure you know that's part of the building, okay? That's actually the 6th line, is that little section, okay? You can see how line 4 is the top of the building, line 6 is the bottom of the building, but it's the part facing towards the road, right? And I keep saying road, like if this is the road, I would actually draw those wider and skinnier, shorter as they went in the distance, right? They would get longer as they came out here and shorter as they got towards the vanishing point. Okay, so, and then if I wanted to do another building behind this one, I'm doing exactly the same thing, but I'm starting from this edge, the edge of this building instead of the side of this paper. So I'll make one more building real quick just so you can see. So I got to decide how tall I want my building to be. And I'm not actually measuring, I'm just using the ruler for straight lines, okay? That would be, let's say I want that one to be line 1. My next line is straight down. Line 2, I didn't stop on the horizon line, okay? Line 3 looks just like line 1, but it's the bottom of the building. Okay, there's line 3. Line 4 is going to look diagonal too, but now I'm over here. And remember, it's got to line up with the vanishing point, okay? Any diagonal lines should line up with the vanishing point. I'm trying to avoid this little messed up part of my ruler. So, and again, how wide I make it is kind of up to me. So let's say I make it like that wide. As long as the line is pointed to the vanishing point, I can decide how wide I want it to be. This building is really wide. Line 5 goes straight down to the sidewalk. Look how much closer the sidewalk is. It makes that line so much shorter now, right? That's my line 5. And then my line number 6 is, like with last time, it's kind of already there, but it's that section, okay? So there you have 2 buildings and trees and that's all I'm going to show you. I want the rest is all up to you, and I can't wait to see what you guys make.